Welcome to Talkin' Mets with Rob. Subscribe to the channel for all your New York Mets in-game live, pre-game, post-game, roundtable podcast, and all the breaking news for our New York Mets. Enjoy the show and let's go Mets.
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. How is everybody doing? The Mets got some breaking news today as they traded for center fielder from the Tampa Bay Rays, Jose Siri. Interesting trade as it's basically the first official trade for the New York Mets for David Stearns this offseason, and it is very, very interesting when you really look at it. Is he going to be the center fielder for the New York Mets this year? Didn't have a really good season. We'll break down the numbers really quickly. But the New York Mets did trade for Jose Siri from the Tampa Bay Rays. They traded Eric Orzi, a reliever, in the minor league system. Very interesting trade. We were going to look into it a little bit. Obviously, the 40-man roster has to be finalized as the Rule 5 draft is coming up. So that's the interesting part probably about this trade. You got to have a couple of people that you have to leave off the 40-man roster. And I do wonder if this is more of a 40-man roster move with Eric Orzi. And, Siri has a ton of a ceiling. I think he has a ceiling, but his average is not there. But the good news is that this is an option that the New York Mets have at center field. Not saying, he can be a stopgap for a Drew Gilbert. And he does have a couple of years of control as well. He had 47 RBIs this year, 18 home runs. The batting average was absolutely terrible at 187 with 170 strikeouts in 130 games. He is in the 99th percentile in defense, which is good, but you're not really counting on Jose Siri to be probably a big bat in this lineup, obviously. But I do think there is a lot of potential there, considering the fact that he is young, he is controllable. With 2 more years of control, including this year, before he becomes a free agent. So he has multiple years left of control. Again, he's going up there a little bit. He's still, relatively young, 29 years old. Couple of years until free agency. He's not going to be a free agent until 2027. So you really don't think he's going to develop into a big-time power guy, big-time RBI guy. But you just never know. But this is an option at center field. This can definitely be a stopgap guy for a guy like Drew Gilbert. You could do a lot worse than Jose Siri, as we did have Harrison Bader. And not saying that, Bader was very good this year. He was all right. Jose Siri can hit 20 home runs for you. He could hit 70 RBIs. Hopefully he can get that batting average up to 240 at least. Not very likely, but you can get some power from Jose Siri, because as of right now, you got 2 center fielders on the roster, or 3 technically. I don't think Nemo's a center fielder anymore, but Jose Siri and Tyrone Taylor are basically your 2 center fielders at this point. And you do wonder, is this leading to another trade in the future in regards to getting Jose Siri from the Tampa Bay Rays? Or this is looked at as a very cheap option at center field. As we all know, the Mets are very much in on Juan Soto and other free agents on the market. Is this a way to, keep the total payroll down a tad to get Jose Siri and put him in center field? He could be a Harrison Bader replacement, as he's making around $2.5 million this year compared to the $10 million that Harrison Bader made. He's very good defensively, but are you going to get more production out of him than you did get from Harrison Bader? Maybe, maybe not. I could say it's kind of on an even slate here, as he is a guy that, has a lot of confidence. He's a very cocky guy. He's a very, he's a show-off. He showboats. And that worries me a little bit, but he is a very good defensive player. So, what does this trade mean? Does this mean that Jose Siri is going to be our new center fielder? Possibly. right? I don't see him as a guy that's also going to be on the bench as well as an outfielder replacement, for random days or defensive replacement. I don't see that because that's basically Tyrone Taylor. So I do believe that Jose Siri could be, the center fielder, at least for this year, until Drew Gilbert is officially ready in 2025. I think he's a stopgap. And also, when the 40-man roster has to be finalized because of the Rule 5, Eric Orzi is one of these guys that might have been off the roster. And instead of just, leaving him off the 40-man and not getting nothing for him, you were able to get a 29-year-old who is very good defensively. As we know, David Stearns loves guys who can play defense, has some power, and is a guy that can probably fit in pretty well in this team, considering the defense that David Stearns loves. And you can see him being a guy, a 20 home run guy. And you just hope with a better lineup, he can be a better hitter, or at least power-wise, as a lot of GMs around the league like, right? Average is not a thing to them anymore. It's not okay with me, but with GMs and baseball nowadays, average is not that important. They look at power and they look at RBI production and they look at OPS. And he didn't have a good OPS either. When it was around the 600%, OPS was around a little over 600. Not very good, but this is what GMs look for. And I do wonder if the 40-man finalization had a role in this with Eric Orzi. And instead of getting nothing for Orzi, you can get something for him. And he was able to get Jose Siri. So once again, guys, New York Mets traded for Jose Siri, center fielder. Not very good average. Had 18 home runs this year, around 70 RBIs, OPS in the 600s. Not a spectacular guy overall offensively. Very good defensively. But with Tyrone Taylor, is this a situation where this can play a platoon role in center field with Tyrone Taylor and Jose Siri, as we all wait for Drew Gilbert to take the reins in center field at some point, hopefully this year or later in the year or possibly 2026? Is this a reason why they got Jose Siri? Again, a lot of ways you can look at it. I think it leads more to the 40-man roster finalization. Orzi was probably going to be off this 40-man. And David Stearns, in the way he does things, and especially with his track record, he doesn't like to lose guys for nothing. And Orzi might have been one of those guys that you just lose for nothing. And the Rays were willing to take a younger pitcher with control. And you get Jose Siri. Again, being on a different team, maybe a new scenery, helps Jose Siri become a better player. Now, he's not 25 years old. He's 29. But you got 3 years of control. And he's got to hit 20 home runs, 70, 75, maybe even 80 RBIs with a better roster. We shall see. So, Mets trade for Jose Siri from the Tampa Bay Rays for Eric Orzi. Do the Mets have their center fielder? We shall see, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about the Jose Siri trade. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you're enjoying my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos, and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. Let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think of this trade? Is our new center fielder, or can it be a platoon role with Tyrone Taylor? Thank you guys for watching, and as always, Met fans, let's go Mets.